Okay, so something happened to the video early on, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do it again. This is the warm-up we did. Okay, I'm just gonna go through the first steps and then I'll show you how to do the second problem. Okay, so basically you make a table, okay, to find your slope. That's the thing you wanna find first, your slope. Okay, so we got 3 and 4, 3 and 4, 5 and 8, 5 and 8. You find the difference from 4 to 8. How much is that? That's 4. From 3 to 5, how much is that? That's 2. So your M is 4 over 2. It's over here, but it's kind of like a little bit blurry. So M is 4 over 2, which is equal to 2. Okay. Once you find the slope, you do b equals y minus mx. Okay, you choose one of the points. You can choose 3 and 4 or 5 and 8. I decided to use 3 and 4. So y is 4. That's why I put a 4 right there. M is 2. That's the number we found first. And x is 3. So 2 times 3 is 6. You multiply first. So that's what this means. Multiply first. Okay, and then that gives us 6, and 4 minus 6 is negative 2. Okay. So same thing, make a table. By the way, if you need help on Khan Academy, this should help you. You're doing the same thing. We got 4 and 5, 4 and 5, 8 and 3. I already saw 2 people like get their numbers switched. So make sure you pay attention to that. Okay, 4 and 5, 4 and 5, 8 and 3, 8 and 3. Go in that order. If you try to do like different order, you might get it wrong. So, okay, so from 5 to 3, I'm subtracting 2. From 4 to 8, I'm adding 4. So the slope is the y over the x. So negative 2 over 4. And I saw a lot of people say that this was negative 2. It's not negative 2. Okay. 2 over 4 is 2 divided by 4, which is negative 0.5. Okay. So that's our M. Now we're going to go ahead and find our B. So B equals y minus mx. So B is equal to y. I'm going to choose one of them. I'm going to stick with 4 and 5. So y is 5 minus. When it's a negative, I like to put parentheses. I like to make them both have parentheses, just in case I need to count the number of negatives. So m is negative 0.5. That's what we're looking for. And x is 4. So B is equal to 5. And then negative 5 times 4 is negative 2. So it'll be 5 minus a minus 2. We got a double negative here. 5 plus 2 is 7. So B equals 7. So the equation is y equals, you can write as a decimal. If I was doing this on Khan Academy, I wouldn't put it as a decimal. It's going to mark it wrong. I'm not even going to put it as a negative 2 over 4. It's going to mark it wrong. I'm going to put it as negative 1/2. Even though all those are correct, that's just the way they like you to write down the answer. So there's the slope. There's the equation. Okay. Okay, so we answered these questions. If you notice on this equations, the slope is 2 and the slope is 2. Because the slope is the same, since they're both slopes have 2, the lines are going to be parallel. So that means they're not going to intersect. So no, the lines are not going to cross because they're not going to intersect because they're parallel, and parallel lines have the same slope. Okay. This one we try to figure out that the point, if you remember yesterday, when you move the line up or down, your y changes, but the x stays the same. So how much did we go up by? Well, we went up by 8 units. Look right here, 8 units. So the y is going to be going up by 8 units. So So plus A on the y's, the x's stayed the same. X1 and X2 stayed the same. This would be a little bit confusing and hard to understand. So I guess it's just kind of like give you some exposure to it. Here, the top one is the slope formula. I've been showing you to just use the table because I feel like the table is easier to understand and easier to figure out the numbers, especially when you deal with negative numbers. The formula, most people, some students will make mistakes on those double negatives. So, but if you notice, if you use x1, y1, x2, y2, the formulas are the same thing. And let's see, this one is the pre-image, and this one up here is the image. Okay, so I actually solved did the slope formula for the top one, and the slope is the same thing, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which is going to ask you on the next one, how does the slope of the image compare to the slope of the pre-images? The slopes are the same. Okay, and if the slopes are the same, that means the lines are parallel. Okay. How will you describe the relationship between the graphs of the images and the graph of the pre-images? The graphs are of two parallel lines. Okay, so here are two ways you can solve for the y-intercept, or how to put an equation of a line. If they give you if they give you the slope and they give you the a point, okay? So I showed you this one right here. Okay, that's how you find the m first, and then you look for b. And now I'm gonna show you how to do this one too. And it comes from the same, from using the slope formula, m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I guess you could try to, I can show you how to get the steps, but maybe in another occasion. Okay, so which student method do you prefer? It's up to you, but you will probably prefer Jillian's method, just because that's the method that Mr. Matt has taught me. Or try it. Okay, but actually I'm going to show you both ways, so you kind of get an idea. I was talking today in tutoring about how, I don't know, it's just like I'll show you both ways. Okay, so the first one is we're going to write the equation of a line that is parallel to y equals negative 3x minus 1. So this is actually easier than what we did on the warm-up, because on this one, you don't have to do any computations to find the slope, okay? You just have to realize which number is our slope, because they are giving us the slope. So if you write y equals mx plus b on top of it, you're gonna see that m is negative 3, okay? So they're already giving us the m. We don't have to look for it. We don't have to do any work. We just have to identify it. So m is equal to negative 3, okay? The second part is to find our y-intercept. So how do we find our y-intercept? That's right. You go b equals y minus mx. And yeah, and then just plug them in. You have x right here. You got y. So b equals 5 minus negative 3 and minus 1. Okay. So b equals, so let's see, negative 3 times negative 1, that's positive 3. So it's going to be 5 minus a positive 3. So it's going to be equal to 2. So the line is going to be y equals negative 3x plus 2. Okay. Now, if you're listening to me right now, you're probably just going to do one of them. If you're not listening, you're probably just going to do both of them. Okay. And I'm going to show you both ways. So the other way is using what's called a point slope form. Okay. So it's called point slope form. Okay. Why is it called point slope form? Very, very simple. They're giving you a point and they're giving you the slope. So that's why it's called point slope form. Okay. So it goes like this: y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. Okay. This y right here and this x right here, they don't change. They're still always going to be y and x. The y1 and the x1 are going to be replaced by those two, the x1 and the y1. And your m, that's your negative 3. So y minus, well, y1 is 5 equals m, which is negative 3, x minus x1, and x1 is negative 1. And technically it should be something like this with the brackets, okay, because we have parentheses inside brackets. Okay, when you get to college, depending on the professors, some professors, they'll let you keep your answer like this, and they'll be like, that's a proper way of writing an equation of a line. So you can leave it like that. So that's a good thing. Our math book or our test, they're gonna say, write the equation in this form, y equals mx plus b, or general form, okay? So you have to do a little bit more simplifying, okay? So y minus 5 is equal to negative 3 x, and then we got double negative right here, so it's gonna make it into a plus 1, okay? Next thing we're gonna do is we're going to distribute. Which, if you remember, we did a transam on brackets, so you should be familiar with that. And we're going to add 5 to it. Okay. So bring down the y, bring down the equal sign, bring down the negative 3x, and negative 3 plus 5 is positive 2. And guess what? It should be the same. Okay. So if you prefer doing it this way, you can do it. If you prefer doing it this way, you can do it. It's just a matter of preference. Like I said, if it was college class and the answer was like, just leave it like this one probably be shorter way. You just set it up and that's it. High school is most likely on the test is going to ask you to write it in general form or y equals mx plus b. Okay. So hopefully you watched the video and it helps you with your homework for Khan Academy and also helps you fill out the Pear Deck.